Hello and welcome to the tutorial on how to become a game developer with absolutely no experience required. So this tutorial is intended to give someone with absolutely no experience in programming and artistic ability the most logical and painless route to becoming a published developer on the Google Play Store. This tutorial will not only teach you the technical perspective, the nitty-gritty details of coding, but will also most importantly take you step by step on how to design your game, how to find copyright-free open source assets, how to integrate Google Play Games achievements and leaderboards, how to set up Google AdMob to serve ads within your application and also maintain COPPA compliance in the European regions if you're serving ads to children, how to configure your application listing, and last but certainly not least, how to test your application and outsource your Android application testing to friends, family, and fellow indie developers. At the end of this tutorial series, if you follow along, you too can have a published application on the Google Play Store in no time. Before we get started, let me introduce myself. To skip this section, go ahead, check the chapters in the description below. My name is Ethan Yakubuski. I work professionally as a software developer 9 to 5, graduated from Carleton University with honors in computer and internet security. I have been programming for nearly 2 decades of my life at this point. Only recently have I got into indie game development, and I would love to share my passion for games, programming, and technology with all of you that are willing to listen and hear me out. In the background right now, you can see my website, piledrivegames.com. Please feel free to check it out and keep up to date with all of my various projects, whether that's indie game development or other. Without further ado, let's get started. So there are 3 minor prerequisites to get started, all of which you can do on your own without any technical expertise. First is come to the go.engine.org homepage and download the latest version of the IDE. This is where we will be doing our programming, and this is where we will be writing our code and inserting our artistic assets. So go ahead and download version 4.5.1. If there's some other version available to you, that's fine. There's unlikely very much change that will happen. Second, I am assuming that you have already signed up as a developer with Google Play and have paid the $20 one-time fee. Google Play is the great place to start for a new indie developer. Apple App Store has a 99 USD yearly expense, and Steam has a 131 CAD expense for each game that you want to get reviewed, and you have to pay this upfront to get access to the SDK, the application that gives you access to the Steam functionality on the back end. So to release on the Google Play, it's just a simple sign up on the Google Play console and a $20 one-time lifetime fee, and you're good to go. Lastly, but strongly recommended, not required, is make yourself a GitHub. We will be using GitHub to store our code, but we'll also be using the issues field to streamline and organize the development process. Okay, so as promised, what you're going to want to start with is game design. So I will see you over on the whiteboard. If you don't have a whiteboard, your next best bet is to simply hop to Paint, and you can do all of your whiteboarding in Paint, and I will see you in a moment. Okay, so the first step to any good game is obviously coming up with some game design. So if you haven't already seen it, will be linked below. I put on a tutorial on how to generate great game ideas and come up with unique concepts. But basically what we're going to be going with today, to skip all of that tutorial just quickly, is we're going to go with the bottom-up approach. So I'm going to start with the main core game concept that I have here. The game I want to make, that we're going to be making in this tutorial, is going to be a word-based game, sort of like a crossword puzzle word game, sort of combining a couple different word games. It's sort of combining like Wordle and crossword puzzles together, but also this game called Wordscapes. You have a bank of words, of letters that you're going to be solving the crossword with. So let's start with, first off, my app's orientation. So I want this app to be a vertical orientation, and so I'm just going to go ahead and draw a rectangle. And again, please follow along in Paint if you don't have a whiteboard of your own, or just simply draw on paper as well. I'm not a very artistic guy, and so we will be sourcing our assets from from copyright-free open source assets. So don't worry about that yet. This is going to look really ugly, but once we hop over the code, we're going to make it look really pretty. So I think I'm going to start with the core game concept. So we're going to do that bottom-up approach. We'll worry about the menu and the login screen a little bit later. I just want to hop right into the game's functionality. Let's gonna say we're gonna have some sort of puzzle crossword structure here, and the object of the game is going to be for the player to solve the crossword puzzle using the words that are in the word bank. So we do have a couple options for the word bank, but I think easiest for the word bank is maybe we'll have the letters down here, HADTO. So let's just say that this is our word bank. And now what I want to do is actually provide the player with a few clues. So when they load into a level, this is going to be, one level of many levels that the game is going to have. And again, we're going to end up designing that a little bit later. But for now, let's just say that they get this letter for free, this letter for free. I'll give myself a E down here, and TOAD will say, yeah, this is TOA. And okay, so this will be our puzzle, and this is like a very basic, easy beginner puzzle. And this might be what the level is spawned in at. And so the object of the game is for the player to go ahead and fill out this puzzle. So we got HAE, so hate, and this is going to be toad, and this will be dad. And so we notice here that we're using the A actually twice, and that's an important thing to remember at this point. So the letters in our bank are going to be reusable, and you may use them once, you may use them multiple times, and who knows, maybe we'll even implement a feature where you don't have to use them at all. And so each of these down here are also going to be like a little tile. So we're making this sort of tile-based word puzzle game. And so this is a great start to our core game concept. And at this point, let's think of a name. I think something's coming to me. I think we're going to go ahead and call it Fluzzle. Not really sure where that came from. Actually, truth be told, my wife came up with it for a word game. So there we go. We're going to go ahead and use Fluzzle. Maybe you want to use Wuzzle, word puzzle. That was the other one that we were throwing around. But I'm going to call my word game Fluzzle. And this is the core mechanic of the game. So see, we didn't actually use the T. Maybe the level would actually just spawn like this, and then they'd have to go ahead and drag that T into here. So at this point, we do see that there's a few mechanics that are throwing themselves at me right now. And so now we want to start categorizing the type of functionality that the user needs in order to actually play the game, so that we can organize our thoughts and get some issues down in GitHub so that we can start working through them logically, and make sure that we're developing with best practices. So I see here we've got the main game screen. So we've got the level screen. We have the portion of the screen down here where we have the word bank. And we have functionality where we have to be able to drag and drop these letters into the puzzle area. So we want to implement drag and drop letter tiles. So that's about all we have at this point. And this really gets done the whole core game mechanic. And talking about ads, when we are developing our game, we may want to keep a spot on the UI for some type of ad. So there's things known as banner ads. Maybe we'll serve the banner ad down here. Maybe we'll serve the banner ad up here. Or depending on your vibe, maybe you don't want to serve banner ads at all. There are lots of different types of ads that we can implement. So I'm going to go ahead and do here a banner ad in level screen. And so there's another item for us to work on. Okay, so now that we have the core game mechanic implemented, we need to then go ahead and figure out how does the user actually get to this level. Like we said, this is just one level of the game. When they load, when you load into an application, you're not thrown into the first level right away. There's usually some sort of menu, screen, or level select that actually comes to this location. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go hop over here, and we're going to look at the main menu screen. And so here, maybe we're going to have some type of level select. And to keep this easy, what I'm actually going to do is this letter tile, this same letter tile, I'm actually just going to reuse that same asset for the level select. So we're going to just do, at least to get the application going, we're just going to make it really, really simple, okay? So we're going to have, just basically a blank screen. We might have some sort of background asset, or as the player levels up, the background might change. This might be like water themed, and then this will be maybe like lava themed. But we can really spruce it up as we go. But for now, all we want to do is just get the skeleton structure and some of the features down so that we can start making these work items and work on them in a logical sequence. So when the user boots up, this is the screen that they're going to see. And so this here leads us to another item, and that's going to be the level select screen. Okay, so now one obvious question comes to mind is, how is this puzzle actually getting generated? So we have a couple options for this. So we can procedurally generate this value, this puzzle, or we could also store all of this information in data and have each level, the same for each user. So depending on what level of sophistication you want to take, we can do either or. Now, most of these word games and these types of puzzle games like this do use the same puzzles for level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think that's implementation we'll at least start with, and then we can go from there. So I think that's really all about there is for such a simple word game. We've got our level select screen, we've got our core game concept, and maybe once we solve the puzzle, there might be some sort of, like you win banner or something. But I think that's something to think about later. So let's go ahead and take these 5 game concepts and let's go ahead and hop over to GitHub and set up a project repository and start listing these down as issues so that we can pull them in as work items and start working on our game project in a well-documented and developed with best practices here to keep our thoughts streamlined. And also, in the case that you are working with friends or fellow indie developers on your project, they're going to be wanting to use GitHub if they have any amount of experience. And it also keeps it a lot easier in order to collaborate on items simultaneously. Maybe you will take the level screen and someone else will take the level select screen to work on, and GitHub allows you to seamlessly, integrate the different work into the main branch. But again, this tutorial, assuming that you don't have any technical expertise, we will get there, and I will just teach you the bare bones of what you need to know. But let's hop back over to the computer now that we got our game design filled out, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so back over to GitHub. You're going to want to come here and go new, and you're going to go new repository. We're going to call this I'm going to call this Fluzzle, and we're going to call a word puzzle game for Android made in Godot. I'm going to go ahead and keep this as a public. For now, I'm going to turn this off and going to go no for these. We're going to set these up manually on the command line. So let's go ahead and create the repository. Okay, so once you have made the repository here on the GitHub side, you're going to want to go ahead and copy this URL and go over to the location on your desktop, just in your documents where you want to have the code stored locally. In the address bar, come here and type cmd, and this is going to open up your command window. Here, then you'll want to go git init, and hit enter, and you see I've already done this. So we have the Git folder here, and that's how we know that that everything has been set up successfully. Okay, so once you've done those first basic setup steps, go ahead here and open up Godot and go create. I'm gonna create this here and select my folder I created. And I'm going to, for now, because we're setting it up manually in the version control metadata, I'm going to go ahead and hit none. And this is going to set up, a new project for us in Godot. Okay, so now this has loaded. We're going to hop back over here, and now we have the Fluzzle here, the project structure set up for us. And hopping back over to command, now we can go git add and git commit. This is the initial project commit. So hop back over to your GitHub and copy this URL using that convenient button, and you'll want to do this command, git remote add origin, and paste the URL. And at that point, you can go git push, and it will ask you to do this this as well. This will mean that you are pushing to the main branch, and now we can just go git push, git add, git commit, git push. And now we see that when we refresh on our GitHub, we see that we have our initial project commit here all set up, good to go. Okay, so now that we have our basic setup here, we're going to document the items that we need to work on. And so here, let me make myself a little bit bigger. And you see in behind me, we have these 5 items here that we made. So first one is going to be, the first one I think that makes most sense to start working on is the level select screen. So let's go here and you see there, here I gotta make myself smaller again. And hit the new issue button. So hit the new issue, and we'll say this, we'll call this W1 level select screen. So here you're going to want to fill out a bit of details about the details of the implementation that needs to be completed before this issue is marked as complete. So user can select level. So page loads. When application loads, user can select the level, and selecting level loads W2 game screen. Levels are separated into sort of worlds, right? So remember we discussed that we had sort of like, the top, levels 1 to 6 have some sort of theme, and levels 6 to 12 will have some sort of other theme. We need a way to sort of categorize these two separately. So that's good for now. Come down here and go create. We're going to go ahead and do new issue. We're going to say W2, the game screen. Okay, so the game screen, again, looking back at our design, consists of two parts. It consists of the puzzle area, and it consists of the drag and drop area. So puzzle area is generated. Word bank area is generated. Letter tiles from the word bank can be dragged and dropped onto the puzzle area, and you win splash is notified to user when puzzle is completed. Okay, so that's about it for the game screen. And so we have here that the letter tiles from the word bank can be drag and dropped onto the puzzle area. So that also implements item 3 here, the drag and drop letter tiles, and the word bank as well. So really that's completing the 1 and 2, and we got 5 as W1. And so we want to then implement the banner add. So create, then we're going to go new issue, W3, implement, we'll say integrate Google Ad Mob, and we'll say add a banner add to the game screen. And we can decide when and where we want to do that later. New issue. This is going to be the issue that we're going to have to integrate the achievements and leaderboards. Integrate Google Play Services achievements and leaderboards. We might want a leaderboard for levels completed, and words completed, and maybe we'll want achievements for completing first level, completing first world, and so on. And we'll want some kind of achievement for maybe completing X number of words. Okay, so hopping back over here to the Issues tab and doing a refresh to make sure that W4 is spawned in here. So we've got the base structure of what we want to work on here to go ahead and implement the game that we designed on the whiteboard or in Paint. And now we have a new GitHub project. We have a new Godot project, and we have the issues spawned here in Godot, in GitHub, that we're going to go ahead and work on. So we developed the game design using the bottom-up approach, but once we've developed the game design, what makes most sense is probably just to start on the level select screen. So this one's called W1 level select screen, and this is the issue that I'm going to work on first.